Why? Never, ever again. This is the Tamiya Porsche Carrera GT. And why was it the longest build ever? Well, stick around, watch the video, and find out. For those that don't know what sprue goo is, it is when you put pieces of your sprue in the bottle of glue to melt the plastic to come up with a plastic paste to help you fill in the gaps and seams of the models with actual plastic instead of putty. As you saw, I did prime the engine with Tamiya white primer, but after a day or two of letting it sit, I really didn't like the look of it, so I went and hit it with a flat black rattle can. So this way, when the flat aluminum base coat was applied, it would pop a little bit easier, and it definitely did. And with this kit being a Tamiya model, what better company to use as your first kit for fit quality and precision than Tamiya? And I have to say, even though this was the longest build ever, it definitely went together fantastically, and there was no fit issues. Being an armor modeler mainly, I could not let that engine just be flat aluminum. So I decided to use 502 of Thailand's Intense Blue as a filter to give it some depth and definitely have some of the recessed areas pop, and it turned out amazing. Now, why would I say this is the longest build ever? Well, I did not think when I started this build that I would have needed to paint every piece of the kit prior to building. Since this was my first car kit and I've never built one, I did not use my time wisely by painting all the pieces prior to construction. And that was my fault. And that is why I have said this is the longest build ever. And you know what? For the next one, at least I know ahead of time to paint my pieces before assembly. If watching me paint and detail this engine with basic paints and oils is not quite your thing, fast forward to about the 11-minute mark and you can see where the kit really starts coming together and the finished kit. One thing I always do when working with oils is I allow the paint after I've applied it to dry for about 12 to 24 hours. Then I'll go back and look at it, see if there's any pooling, any tide marks that I can clean up. And I love to do this part just because I don't want it to look weird or unnatural, and I want it to blend before I go to the next step of my building process. If you do have the Tamiya Porsche Carrera GT in your stash and you are planning on building it, the one thing I can tell you about the instructions is it does not call out the fact that you need to drill the holes open to install the front license plate. Now, I did not notice this until I'd already assembled the entire body and was at the finishing stages of this build and could not go back and take out the pieces because they were permanently glued to install the front license plate. While doing this kit, I did use some reference photos from Google of the Porsche Carrera's engine as very good reference photos, and compared to the Tamiya callouts for the paint on the engine, it is not as correct as you'd like it to be, but all the paints that they call out are still correct. It's just they are not in the right spots for the engine to look more realistic. I love using AK Interactive Super Chrome, so when I got the opportunity to do it, I did it. Now, with this kit, they did come pre-molded in a grayish flat chrome plastic, so I took advantage of the opportunity to use AK Super Chrome. Now, I also use Ammo by Meg's black wash to kind of definitely hit some accents to show the shadow of the engine on the chromed pieces. And it definitely did come out better than I was expecting, and it definitely does look really amazing once the engine is completely together and all those colors just make this thing pop. Now, why would I title this video Never Again? Well, keep listening, keep watching, and I'll tell you why. Now, why would I say never again? Well, being an armor modeler, this was way out of my wheelhouse, and this was definitely more of a difficult build personally for myself, being that everything needed to be painted prior to construction. Now, if I ever did do this kit again, there's absolute certain I would never do this kit again the same way twice. Now, knowing where my mistakes and problem areas were, where the instructions didn't call out certain things, I now know if I ever build this kit again, I know where to make my improvements. I know where to drill out the holes to make this kit look absolutely amazing. This kit is definitely the most difficult one I've built, and mainly that's because the instructions don't call out certain things. I did not know I needed to paint the pieces prior to construction, and that's on me. But down in the comments below, what kit have you built that is giving you the most difficult time building? If it wasn't for building the Tamiya Porsche Carrera, there's a product in this video that I'd never used and never known about and never would have used if I didn't build this car. So stick around and I'll show you how to use it. I have never used this amount of black on a project in my life. I'm pretty sure I went through about 2 or 3 jars of Tamiya X1 black, and I am so looking forward to the next project where it has no black paint. Now, what new product did I use on this kit that I've never used in my life? Well, I'll give you a hint. it is AK Interactive, and they have a great line of products. And the product does go on the rotor for the brake pad. And the product I used was AK Interactive True Metal. Now, I had no idea that this product was a wax that you paint on, and after a few minutes of letting it dry, to make it nice and shiny like the metal that it replicates would look like, you literally just use a piece of Q-tip or cotton ball, and that pulls off some of the particles, and it actually gives it that shinier sheen look to the metal, as I am demonstrating right now. There definitely is a big difference on the before and the after looks of these pieces after using the cotton ball or your Q-tip to give it that sheen. It definitely makes it look really nice. For the interior color, I wanted to go with the color call out for terracotta. Now, mixing the XF7 and XF60, I thought the color was too vibrant, so I added a little drop of flat black just to knock it down a little bit, and it definitely does make the interior look really well and good contrast from the interior to the exterior. And as a little side note, where you see the clear pieces so you can see through the engine, they actually have a decal on them that was more than a pain in the butt to try to have it lay down flat where you didn't get any wrinkles. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like building models as much as I do, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. And I can't wait to show you guys the next video. It's going to be Border Models M4A1 Sherman mid-production. And I can't wait to get back to working on something that has some tracks. So y'all have a fantastic day. And I am Josh, and I will see you guys on the next video.